Hello everyone, welcome back to New World FX. Anyone that would have seen my Instagram story recently would know that we're in for a good week. A lot of good trades made. That doesn't mean that all good trades. Obviously, no trader is 100% successful. So let's jump in, break down trades I made and things to watch out for in the future. So as you can see on the screen, the blue line here represents start of the week. See straight away we have a gap, started off low, came back high to fill that gap. We are in a bear momentum overall, creating a lower high, lower low formation the whole way through. To fill the gap, we created a lower high and retested that area multiple times. So as per my plan, we creating higher highs, break that structure, one, two, three lows, one, two, three highs. I aimed around the third high, third retest of this area, but unfortunately got stopped out nearly straight away. Nothing we can do about that. Obviously, we met the plan. Wasn't big movements off the the yellow box or resistance, so that might be something to watch out for in the future. But still, that met the current plan. We can adjust that later on if we see this happening multiple times. I wouldn't be the type to adjust my plan immediately because of one bad trade. So keep that in mind. Leave your plan the way it is for a substantial period of time. See how does it work out. Does the trade you make actually fit the plan, or do you make the trade fit your plan? That's something to keep in mind, folks. Second trade later on that night, you see similar to the previous trade that we lost, multiple retests of a new high, bigger movements after that area, creating lower lows, lower highs, creating equal the highs here actually, something slightly different to here. And we enter the trade, very slow movement overnight, as we can expect in the Asian season. Not much movement overnight on that time frame for GU. Interestingly, though, is the following morning we see it possible for a second entry. I'll go through why I didn't make that trade later on, but as you can see, following the retest of this new resistance area, nearly straight away jumped down, hit our target. So one loss, one win, up 4% this week. Great. But why didn't I take this trade? For starters, it's not in my plan to re-enter trades. There's a lot to take into account if you're going that route. First of all, if I take this entry at the equal highs, where's my stop loss going to be? Am I sticking to 12 pips? Am I going to adjust it to similar to the first trade I made? If so, am I going to reduce my lot size to compensate for the extra risk? Am I going to adjust my TP to stick to a 1-5 trade? If I don't adjust my stop loss and I stick to the 12 pip stop loss, what happens if I go back and retest this area, my entry initially? I'll be taking out this trade and possibly drive on. So I would have wasted 1% just to gain another 5%. Now, we're not saying that's not a good plan, but I haven't tested it. So I didn't enter this trade. Stuck to one trade I was in, hit target, job done. Moving on then. Big drop later on if you're scalping or long-term trading, you would have been hit a good target there. Unfortunately, that's not the way I planned. I don't plan to adjust my trade for that anytime. Second day of the week, no trades, nothing fit my plan. No, there's not always a trading day, not always a trading week. If you don't make a trade, don't worry, don't force a trade because you're only going risking too much your account, and plus it'll only entice you to make too many trades later on and potentially go against your plan, and then you'll be thinking, oh, my plan isn't working, when actually you're making trades that aren't suited to your plan. Next trade, as you can see here, different from previous charts. You see this blue line here. So this blue line is just representation of high resistance point I marked out on the weekly and monthly charts. So as that could be a high resistance area. Doesn't mean that it will take off. As you see, we do big jumps off it, but only about 40, 50 pips. That doesn't, so don't jump off and trade just because of resistance. What you will notice though is multiple retests on this point. So first time we hit it, make a big jump, fail to come back to it, made equal highs, jump back into it, 1, 2, 3, 4 entries into it overnight. Another one didn't just before London session. So as you see, I marked on here. I'll just zoom into that. Risk too high from here. So what does that mean? If I had entered a trade from here, my stop loss would have been inside my yellow zone, a resistance area that it could 100% re-enter, creating equal lows back here. So what does that mean? 1, don't enter the trade. 2, adjust your entry. So you don't have to enter just because of this line. That's purely my decision of a resistance area. Someone could have marked it down to where the blue line was. If I had entered on the blue line, I would have been stopped out as well. So there's a reason I didn't go for that. One, the stop loss is only barely off there. If you look on the far right, less than 2 pips of a stop. So I decided just to drop it down on, a bit lower. I'll go back to the actual entry I made. Okay, it's not going back. I think it was roughly around here I entered. So as you can see, we did spike below the resistance area, but we didn't hit stop loss, which is great. So you have to give yourself that leeway for to potentially break down a small bit or retest that area. There could be fundamental news at this time that could pull it more bearish at that time. It could very well break the resistance and keep dropping lower. We don't know. No one will know. But this is the risk that we are taking. So luckily, that trade hit target. So 2 trades in a row hit profit. So that's up 9%. So next trading day. So Friday, end of the week, always iffy time to be trading. But I decided to jump on the market. What I was watch out for is following this new bullish momentum. So trend lines are only there to support the move or show the momentum as it's playing out. I don't generally make entries based on that. It's not part of my plan, but it is support for an entry I was going to make. So if you look at the start, we broke previous highs, retested twice, but it was very choppy coming down. I was inclined to think that, one, being Friday, it might not come all the way down. We did create another high, broke above, two higher highs, retested once, twice, 3 times. I entered here. Unfortunately, didn't work out. This trade, if I had seen it, would have worked out. I didn't take it mainly for the point that I wasn't at the charts, and you have to be aware of that. Even if I was at the charts, you can see that it barely missed TP. So even if I hadn't entered, that wouldn't have been closed. I don't currently have a plan to trade close trades early or at by week's end. That is an AstroFX rule. Close trades by the end of the week. But for my personal account, I don't have that rule set. So following that trade that was missed, I was enticed to jump in the market again, made a second entry, and unfortunately lost that too. So yeah, not a great Friday, but still up roughly 7%, I think. Yeah, 3 losses, 2 wins. So that was a good week in fairness. Must watch out for this in the future, not to get enticed too early if there's a possibility for it to come lower for original setups. Wait. Don't be inclined to jump on the trade too soon. Even if I had missed that trade later in the day, it's okay. I was still up 9%. So that would have been a great week. And just to show everyone on the 5K challenge on my FX book, one thing to notice though is this hasn't been updated in 19 hours, so it's not 100%. Sorry about that. If I just go to history, I am missing the last stop loss. So that hasn't been logged in my FX book yet, but I am calling it out. because I'm not here to promote anything or show off results. It's purely documentation of what can be achieved. So we'll take that into account when we look at the weekly targets. So this here says 9% up on my account. So losing another trade would bring that down to roughly 8.6 and profit about 350, 359. So yeah, great week all out. Charts are, my account is looking nearly positive again. So 9% in a week is great. If you look at that over a year, 9% or even 8%, we'll say, over 52 weeks a year is substantial. If I just made those two trades, 10%, that would have been 5,200%. If I'm right, out of 5 times my current account, 25,000. But there's no guarantee that we'll make 2 good trades every week. As I said at the start, not every day is trading day. Not every week is a trading week. If it doesn't fit your plan, like Friday was for me, if there's a possibility for it to come down as I'd originally marked out, just wait. If it doesn't happen, don't worry about it. So that's me this week, about 8.5% up. Hopefully later on in the week this will be updated. I'll throw it up on Instagram to show the actual targets or actual weekly profits. If not, it'll be counted in for Monday's trade. Okay, thanks all. Hope you have a good week. I'll see you next week for hopefully more profits.